Hey there, and welcome to my channel, Women of a Certain Age. Um, I was trying to think what I was going to talk about today, and I have a couple of ideas, but the one I want to talk about in particular is starting the channel. I have one video out. I was racking my brain on where to start, when to start, that type of thing. And I was like, you know what? Just go ahead and bite the bullet. Was thinking about how, we get into this cycle of perfection where it has to be just right. I remember being in college where I was kind of like frozen in time, for lack of a better word, because I knew I had to get a paper out or I need to do this or do that or whatever. But because I had the analysis paralysis where I just couldn't figure it out or it just wasn't making sense, I decided that I just wouldn't do anything until the last minute, procrastination. And then I am rushing to get something done. In reality, I probably should have just knocked it out and not, think up here like this is so difficult or I got to find the right tools or something along those lines. So my goal is to cut back on that. Ideally, I would like to say that I'm not going to do it at all. I know that's not true. However, I would like to improve on that and trying to figure out what that looks like. Oftentimes, particularly Gen X, or I don't want to say all. So when I speak in reference to the generation, I'm talking about myself or people that I have come across that have had some of the shared experiences. And I think it's important for us to talk about the shared experiences because oftentimes we think something's wrong with us because we don't share what we're experiencing. And then when you hear somebody else say it, you're like, wow, you too? Kind of puts my mind at ease. You know what I mean? So I was thinking about certain things, like, let's say, the term living unapologetically. That's a loaded term because it depends on what unapologetically means. Sometimes I get tongue tied, but it's okay. I'm going to just let it roll. So, back to living unapologetically. Sometimes when people say that, it's almost like a way for them to hurt your feelings, or, you know, they say it and then think something is wrong. Let me turn that down because I feel like it's going to make noise. They feel like, hey, let me just put it out there. And I don't think that's what that should mean. I think living unapologetically would be more so for me is not pleasing people to the point that I am paralyzed in my thought process or I'm so concerned about what somebody else is going to do. I think when you get a certain age, I don't know, maybe it was I'm trying to think, there was an age where I started to be more mindful of not, I wanted to do this, but what if somebody else is going to think about, or how is that going to affect another person? When in reality, it probably isn't going to affect somebody else. It's going to affect you or me because it's something I want to do, but I'm not doing it because I'm concerned about what somebody else is going to do. That's not good, particularly if you're stifling your creativity, if you're stifling something you want to do. Start, making lists of what you desire to do. Start making lists of what does it feel like to stop being a people pleaser. That's it. Stop being a people pleaser. I think oftentimes we are so focused on what, I'm sorry, focus. I think oftentimes we focus on what somebody is thinking. And I remember years ago, and it stuck to me to this day. He was a substitute teacher, and his name was Mr. Winston. And he said, what did he say? He said, stop being so concerned about what somebody else is thinking about you, because the truth of the matter is they're probably not thinking about you at all. And when he said it, I was like, oh, that's a little harsh, I thought. But in reality, he was right. People are so consumed with their own stuff that they don't really have a lot of time to be thinking about what you're thinking, or maybe he's thinking, or we create this narrative in our head because we're so concerned of what somebody else is thinking. And now there are times when they are thinking about you, don't get me wrong, but that really shouldn't be the focus of what you want to live out in terms of your life, and not be concerned about somebody else. So just keep that in mind. I think for me, I am starting to, at this ripe old age, right? Hopefully, those of you that are listening will start earlier, and hopefully you've already started. For me, I'm just coming around to it. I've had moments, let me just say that, but like really walking in that freeness, really walking in who I am, really walking in or walking out my desire, like what I want to do in life. I come from a generation, because like I said, Gen X, the boomers were before us, and it was from the standpoint of you work a job and you work that job, get you a good government job, and you work that job till the wheels fall off. But what if that job doesn't work for you? So many people work jobs, and we've seen it happen time and time again. I don't even know, do people still retire from jobs nowadays? I I can't say. It's been a long time where I've been in a place and somebody has actually retired from a job. I don't think it happens often in the tech world. I don't know, maybe it does. I know oftentimes I've worked with other techies or tech people, and they have worked at a job for years and years. And a lot of that has to do with because they really enjoy what they do. So I think you should think about, what do you want to do? What do you desire to do? What do you enjoy doing? If you cannot do that, then what would it take for you to get there? What is your list of, what are your desires? What do you know that saying they used to ask you, what was it? What do you want to be when you grow up? I was in college one time, and a teacher asked the guy, and we're all adults at this point. It was while I was in the military, as a matter of fact. And the teacher asked him, what do you want to be when you grow up? And he blew a gasket. And we were all looking like, what is going on here? And he was like, I resent that comment. I am grown. You don't ask me. We all have our triggers. My assumption is maybe he was feeling some kind of way of being back in school as an adult, and he was older. So I would imagine by now he probably would be in his 70s. So he might be a boomer, because that was many years ago. But there are certain triggers that people have, and I think we would probably be less triggered if we would figure out, what does that mean? I know for me, because my faith is very important for me, seeking God and asking, what does that look like? How do I walk that out? Enjoying life, traveling, I want to say eating good food, which is definitely something. However, I'm working on my fitness now, so I have to be mindful of what that means. As I said before, I can't just eat what I want to eat. But I guess I can take some moments, right? Yeah, I can take some moments. But I think what I'm going to do is just keep talking about this and just let it fly, and let's see what happens. I was so nervous to post the first video, and this is the second video. So, all right, number 2. So look at my nails. So that, it's every little thing that becomes a thing, right? You don't think about it until that point. So, yeah. All right. So hopefully you like this. I'll give little brief things, uh, like, subscribe, and turn on your notifications, and enjoy the ride. Like I said, if there's anything that you want to hear me talk about, feel free to, put that out there, and let's see what happens, right? Be blessed.